Well, you know it has to be a good occasion when I'm wearing this shirt. Welcome back everyone to your stimulus check and stimulus package update for today. I do hope you enjoyed my couple last live updates. We had to go live because the news was so constantly shifting, so I had to go on live to get the latest for you guys. And for example, minutes after I did my latest live, the bill passed the Congress, so that's how fast the news just changed, and that's why I did have to go live. But we're back to pre-recorded, as you guys like, so in this video we have a lot to cover. I do hope your week has been going well. Let me know down below in the comments how have you been. But in this video we have to discuss, of course, the passage of the stimulus bill and what the next step is, what economists are saying about the bill, what a Republican senator is also commenting about the bill, actually showing his approval for the package, and also when can we expect those beautiful stimulus checks to start coming in. So let's get started right away, but before we do, as always, make sure that you do give this video a big thumbs up, smash the like button, I would greatly appreciate that. Also make sure that you are subscribed to this channel, click that big red button, also click the notification bell as well. That will notify you when I do post a brand new video. You're not going to miss any future updates. The news is so constantly changing. You can see how fast it changes, so make sure they are subscribed, the notifications are turned on. Let's dive right in. Let's get started. So yes, let's first discuss this interesting situation. Now remember, not one Republican voted in favor of the stimulus package in the House or the Senate. You didn't find one Republican vote, no Republican approval. But this one GOP senator is actually showing his support for the stimulus package after all. Before the House of Representatives gave their final approval to Biden's nearly $2 trillion stimulus package on Wednesday, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi had admonished Republicans for their opposition to the measure. She had declared it, quote, "It's typical that they vote no and take the dough." And in support of that point, a Republican senator, Roger Wicker of Mississippi, actually agreed with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. He didn't mention that one little part where he actually voted no for the bill, but he had previously tweeted, quote, "Independent restaurant operators have won $28.6 billion worth of targeted relief. This funding will ensure small businesses can survive the pandemic by helping to adapt their operations and keep their employees on the payroll." But he voted no in favor of the bill, and yet he's praising the fact that there's funding for businesses and restaurants. Quite an interesting circumstance. And then in defense of his position, he later told reporters, quote, "I'm not going to vote for $1.9 trillion just because it has a couple of good provisions." So he enjoys some of the provisions that are in the bill, but everything else, not so much. And now let's cover what economists' views are of the American Rescue Plan. Will it benefit the economy? Is it too much? Is it too little? Well, one economist actually thinks it's the perfect amount. Moody's Analytics chief economist Mark Zandi argued that President Biden's nearly $2 trillion stimulus bill is, quote, "exactly the amount of money you'd want to spend to get the economy back to full employment in a short period of time." He said this on an appearance on Fox Business's Mornings with Maria. Zandi said in part, quote, "I think the economy is set to take off here. It's going to be a rip-roaring year with the pandemic winding down. We've got $1.9 trillion in fiscal support coming, and we have a lot of pent-up demand in higher income households with a lot of cash that they've saved up during the pandemic. So you bring that all together, that's a lot of juice. So we're going to see a lot of jobs and much lower unemployment by this time next year. So it's going to be a very strong economy." Now, the economist also did comment on inflation that has been a tremendous concern for so many, is that we've spent trillions and trillions of dollars, and future generations, our children, our grandchildren, are going to have to pay this back one way or another. So is it worth it to spend this much money? Zandi said, quote, "Inflation is going to accelerate, but I view that as a feature, not a bug. Quote, I mean, inflation has been undesirably low for 25 years. The Fed and every central bank on the planet has been working overtime to try to get inflation up and to this point without any success. And still today, inflation is well below target. Yesterday, we got the core CPI. It's 1.3% year over year. That's just about a point below what you want. So we want more inflation now. Can at some point down the road we get above some things that people feel very comfortable with, well, above the Fed's target, possibly, but I think that's an outside risk. What are your thoughts on the potential high inflation to come in the next handful of years? Do you believe that it was absolutely necessary to spend this much money on stimulus and stimulate the economy, and we're putting ourselves at grave risk? Or do you believe it was necessary and that is just the price we'll have to pay? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments. So what is the current timeline that we can expect for the $1.9 trillion stimulus bill? When could it be signed into law and ultimately those stimulus checks to start being distributed? Well, with the House and Senate both approving the stimulus legislation, all that is left for your $1,400 stimulus checks to start going out the door and for the bill to become law of the land is a signature from President Joe Biden. The American Rescue Plan is expected to be signed by the president tomorrow, Friday. We'll be here for you guys, updating you every single step of the way. So as always, make sure they are subscribed. And then from there, stimulus payments can start being sent out within days of him signing. That means Americans can start seeing the money as early as this next week. And just with the first 2 rounds of stimulus, the first initial people that can expect their checks to come first are going to be people that already have their direct deposit information set up with the IRS. This is because the government already has their account information on file. They don't have to go through the process of printing, sorting, and mailing physical checks or prepaid debit cards. Those people are going to come after. So first up is going to be direct deposit, people that are on Social Security, and people that have their direct deposit information already set up with the IRS. Again, to be eligible for the full $1,400 payment, an individual must have an AGI or adjusted gross income of $75,000 or below. And for couples, that figure is $150,000 if they are married filing jointly. And as we've covered previously, what year will the IRS be basing the stimulus payments on? Well, that's going to be based on the most recent return. So that could mean a 2019 tax return, or it could mean your 2020 tax return if you've already filed for 2020. In addition to direct payments, the bill will also expand the child tax credit and continue the $300 weekly unemployment supplement. Now, one big unknown is that there's another tax break included in this stimulus bill, and that is that your first $10,200 of unemployment benefits are going to be tax-free under the new stimulus bill. This means that applies to 2020. So if you've already filed your 2020 tax returns, we are still waiting to hear from the IRS how people are going to get that money back, how they're going to get their tax refund for the taxes they've already paid on their unemployment benefits, as of course unemployment benefits are taxable income. The bill made $10,200 of jobless benefits completely tax-free for people with incomes under $150,000 for the year of 2020. Now, to get that money back, you may have to end up filing an amended tax return, but no guidance has been provided yet from the IRS, and we'll likely hear more when the president does sign the bill and it is implemented into law. We'll probably hear more then. This will end up benefiting tens and tens of millions of Americans who have either already filed their tax returns, filed them last year, or some point throughout the pandemic. They're going to get that money back, and that ends up being substantial. Let's say your income bracket is 22%. $10,200, that ends up being a couple $1,000s on top of your stimulus payment. So when you combine the child tax credit with stimulus payments and unemployment benefits and that tax break, people could end up receiving thousands and thousands of dollars under the new legislation. Hopefully President Biden won't end up pulling a Trump card at the last minute and threaten to not sign this bill unless Congress provides more. It is his own version of stimulus, so I'd imagine he'll be happy to put pen to paper and sign this bill into law. This will be a major political victory for the Democrats and President Biden's first major legislative win as president, so we could expect a victory lap to come. Biden is already doing a victory lap. If you do have any questions, I could try to answer them in the next update. Let me know down below in the comments if you are curious about something inside of this bill. More updates are to come. We will be patiently awaiting the signature from President Biden tomorrow. I do hope you enjoy your Thursday. If you did enjoy this video, as always, make sure that you give it a big thumbs up, smash the like button, make sure you are subscribed, click that big red button, and click the notification bell as well. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.